Hello everyone, it is Friday, July 28, 2017. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, and it was a very small week for me, a very limited week, and I waited an extra day to do the video because there were some things I was trying to figure out at work, and I will get to that at the end of the video. There'll be no rant really on this video, just a couple of little observations possibly, so we'll jump right into the book. Of course, Comic-Con was last week, and this is when all the books start trickling out. This is when all the little toys and the exclusives trickle out. So one of the ones I picked up was Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, a PX exclusive, limited to 5,000. There it is there. Edge of Venomverse, number 3. I like that cover, Venom and Ghost Rider action. Redneck, number 4. There were a couple of covers on the Redneck, but unfortunately I was only able to get this cover because the other covers were damaged. And we've talked about this in the past with Diamond. When you're the only game in town, the way you ship books, you really don't care, because it's pretty much a take it or leave it proposition. You're either going to take it or you're going to leave it. So what are we going to do? We have to look through the books, and I got to go through 10 or 15 books to try to find one good copy, because I'm not going to buy just anything to put away. So unfortunately, until someone else steps up, I mean, in the late 80s, 90s, there were a couple of distribution companies, and you'd figure the books would come in really, really good condition. Maybe we need to get back to that in order to have a higher quality book. So jumping back into the Comic-Con books, this is limited to 2,000, PX exclusive, Bettie Page, and of course there she is in all of her glory, in her little bikini in front of the San Diego Gaslamp District sign. Now, I am originally from San Diego. I grew up, born and raised in San Diego, and people always say, oh, how can you leave San Diego? And oh, you went to high school in downtown. I attended high school at San Diego High, which is located in downtown by the historic San Diego district, the heart of San Diego. But unfortunately, when I was in school, it wasn't a historic district. It was a slum district. Pimps, hookers, flop houses, dollar movie theaters, a place you do not want to go to after dark. So it's really nice now with nice restaurants and, of course, Petco Park, Convention Center expansion, Seaport Village. But back in the day, it was nowhere you wanted to be after dark, believe me. So there's that. Getting back on the Bettie Page thing, of course, Dynamite came out with a Bettie Page book, and I was very excited about that because I am a Bettie Page fan, always have been a Bettie Page fan. There's a lot of things from the 40s and 50s that I like, and of course, just the hairstyles on the women, the way they dress, the look, is just something that I've always liked. So with that said, Dynamite came out with books last week. I bought them. I wasn't real happy with them. They were very thin. Not a whole lot of meat in there. And it carried a $3.99 price point, but you know what? I thought, I'm going to collect it, whatever. So, of course, this week was the topless Bettie Page book that was supposed to come out. And it was supposed to be polybagged, and it was going to be exclusive, and it carried a $9.99 price point. And I thought, you know what? I'll put one away in my collection because I like it, but it's probably going to be really nice. And it really wasn't. Here's the book. Now, it's just a topless picture of Bettie Page that you can find anywhere. Of course, that's not matters, but it's a thin book, again, a very thin book. And the polybag was not really a sealed book. It was more of some of those resealable comic book bags that you get with a black bar across it. So Dynamite, shame on you for charging $9.99 for that. Okay, at least when Marvel charges $9.99 for their Deadpool books, their special edition Deadpool books, those things are thick. The Spider-Man 700s were thick. This is just embarrassing for Dynamite. And of course, they're going to sell some of the books because Bettie Page is popular, but very embarrassing to come out with that book at $9.99. So I'm very disappointed in that and kind of upset with Dynamite. Getting back into the book, Zombie Tramp 37, Girl on a Motorcycle, doesn't get any better than that. Picked one of these up before. I picked up another one, Edge of Venomverse. I just like that cover a lot, and these books are just going to keep going up. Wonder Woman Rebirth 26, that is the best cover there. And here was the other cover. So there is that. Now, a couple of things. As you know, I started a county job a few months ago, which is a really good job. And I knew that things were going to kind of be balanced out a little bit, or, topsy-turvy when I was on a per diem status. I could work any shift, anytime, at different days off, and I understood that. But I was able to get a full-time shift very quickly. They had some openings. I was able to get one, and we had our shift bid the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, and unfortunately fortunately I got a shift. Unfortunately, it is a swing shift, which is 2 to 10:30 with Tuesday, Wednesdays off, which means I will be closing my swap meet space because I will no longer be able to go there during the course of the week and do the books. I can't expect my wife and my son to do it because people go there to try to have me do things and grade their books for them, and I am not going to be able to do that. So, which means a couple of things. I worked on some different plans, and you as the viewers, who I appreciate all the support, this is what's going to happen. Because of the closure of the swap meet, it is going to be a temporary closure. I'm hoping to get another shift very soon, which means I will be able to reopen something down the road. I am hoping for a early 2018 opening, which means for the next 6 months, 8 months, all I'm going to be doing is buying a bunch of vintage books and putting them away for the new space, because the new space, when it reopens, and it is going to reopen, is going to be bigger and better. Now, unfortunately for some of my customers, and you know who you are, I know it's going to be kind of a hindrance, because literally there are people who only come and buy vintage books from me because of the condition and the quality that I have. That's not a pat on the back. That is just a fact of reality, that you can get a high-grade book at a good price. So it is not going to happen right away, but it will open again, and it'll be bigger and better. But with that said, I am still going to do my weekly videos. I am still going to do my Instagrams and my my Twitter account. I have the new Twitter, and I'm going to do the Facebook, and I am going to put books up on the eBay store. It's been delayed because of the unknown as it relates to the shift, but I am now, with the shop being closed, I'm going to put a bunch of books up online. I may or may not put up some vintage books. I haven't made that decision yet, but there's a lot of good stuff that I'm going to be putting up. Things that were normally in the shop on the walls, in the boxes, things that I had, specifically for customers that came in, are now going to be available to you in the next, you got to give me a couple of weeks. I got to still find storage units to put things away and do it like that. But you can still always call me. There's going to be things available. And so I am looking forward to the new chapter of Arkham Comics Las Vegas when it happens. Unfortunately, it's a little hiccup, but it's going to come back bigger and stronger. Believe me when I say that, because those of you who watch my videos know I don't say things that are not true. So fret not, it will be bigger and better. One little observation, one little, I guess, rant. Of course, when I do my CGC videos, there's always a lot of backlash, and there's always a lot of heated conversations, because people are very passionate about the quality of grading and getting their books graded. Now, there's always a misconception. I do not get books graded personally. I don't. But if you've watched my videos, and those of you who really watch the videos will understand this, is that I have not said that you shouldn't get any books graded. I said if you're going to get a book graded, it should be Golden Age books, because they disintegrate real fast. And if you want to try to keep them in as high grade as possible, I can understand that, and I can see the cost factor for that. I have said that from day one. Also, if you have a high grade key, a Hulk 181, a new, a World by Night 32, my issue with grading is the lack of quality in the grades, and people grading stuff like this to try to make a fast buck on it because it was graded a 9899, when I've always said, if you look at the new books, everything should be 9899. That's just kind of how it is. So, of course, with a passionate plea, someone always jumps up and says something. I had a viewer, I don't know if he's a subscriber or not, but he sent me a message and said, since I don't get books graded, I don't have the ground to stand on and talk about grading. Okay, well, actually, I do, because my standard of grading is just as good as CGC's. The only difference is I'm not putting it in a hard case, and people aren't paying me a bunch of money to tell them this book is a 7.5. I can tell you if a book is a 7.5. I understand that people want to make the quick buck, but this is coming to an end. Okay, so, for those of you out there who think that I don't have the right to speak about CGC because I don't get books graded, you are way off course. He compared it to, I think it was either a marriage counselor giving marriage advice to couples who've never been married, or a parent who you know, someone giving parenting advice who's never had children. You can look at a book and see that it's not the grade that it is. You know, and again, if you want the standards, the books come out. I show you all the time the Overstreet grading standards. It's the same thing CGC uses. Remember, they're connected right now. So there's that. The video is kind of a weird video again. It's kind of been a roller coaster for me the last couple of days because I've put a lot of effort into the shop in the last couple of years, and having to, you know, shut it down for a short period of time was kind of, you know, irritating for me. But when I worked out my business plan and got things out, again, it's going to be better, bigger, not necessarily bigger, but it's going to be really nice with a lot of sweet books, because now it's going to give me the opportunity just to buy without worrying about any other expenses, and being able to bring in more higher quality stuff, which I've always had. But it gives me a chance now where I can actually go out of town on a weekend instead of having to stay in for the shop, and actually go to LA or go to these areas that I go and scavenge for the high quality books that people come to expect when they come to Arkham Comics Las Vegas. So again, I appreciate all the viewers. Again, if you don't know, I have a Facebook account, Twitter account, Instagram account, the YouTube, obviously you're watching this, so you know I have a YouTube channel. I am going to put a bunch of stuff up. I'm still going to keep all those active. I'm going to do videos every week still. The shop is going to be open for another 2 to 3 weeks. I've got to put everything in storage as it relates to, you know, cabinets and cases and things like that. So, you know, again, I will do a video next week. I want to get to the movie video and the TV show video, but unfortunately with everything going on, I can't guarantee when something like that's going to happen, because my new shift starts in August 14th, so I have a couple weeks to try to get things done as it relates to shutting the shop down. So I hope you liked the video, but as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great night, and again, thanks for the support.